There is a lie that has been fed to you since the moment you entered the education system. It is a comforting lie, a moral lie. It tells you that the world is a meritocracy. It tells you that effort equals reward. It tells you that if you suffer, if you grind, and if you exhaust yourself, the universe will eventually balance the scales and hand you the power you deserve. Look around you. Look at the people who work the hardest. The laborers, the night shift nurses, the frantic middle managers. Are they the ones holding the keys to the kingdom, or are they merely the fuel that keeps the engine running? If hard work were the currency of power, the donkey would be the king of the jungle. The truth is colder. The world is not broken. It is working exactly as it was designed. The economic machine is not built to reward your sweat. It is built to harvest it. If you feel stuck, exhausted, and economically stationary despite your best efforts, it is not because you aren't working hard enough. It is because you are violating a fundamental law of power, the law of position. In this briefing, we are going to perform an autopsy on the concept of hard work. We will dismantle the morality you were raised with and replace it with the cold mechanics of Machiavelli. We will look at why you remain trapped downstream and how to alter your position to capture value rather than create it. But before we descend into the architecture of this system, understand this. The algorithms that govern this platform are designed to suppress content that creates discomfort. They prefer entertainment. We provide diagnostics. If you wish to ensure this signal remains strong, and if you are ready to stop being a laborer and start being an architect, confirm your presence. Like the video. Subscribe to the channel. Do it now so we can bypass the noise and begin the operation. Let us begin. To understand why you are failing, you must understand the difference between creation and capture. Society creates a curriculum to turn you into a creator. You are taught a skill. You are taught to write code, to lay bricks, to perform surgery, or to manage spreadsheets. You are taught to output energy. But the economy does not reward the output of energy. It rewards the capture of it. Think of the river. The water represents labor. It represents the millions of people waking up at 6 a.m., rushing to the train, answering emails, and stressing over deadlines. The water is loud. The water is violent. The water does all the work. But the water does not get paid. The dam gets paid. The dam sits still. It is silent. It does not sweat. Yet, by virtue of its position, it captures the kinetic energy of the water and converts it into electricity, into power. The owner of the dam does not need to swim. He simply needs to own the structure that the water is forced to pass through. This is the inverted funnel of the modern corporation. At the bottom, you have the technician. The technician has a 1-to-1 leverage ratio. If he works 1 hour, he gets paid for 1 hour. If he stops working, his income drops to 0. He is the water. He is in constant motion, yet he never truly moves forward. At the top, you have the owner. The owner possesses infinite leverage. He can fall into a coma for 6 months, and his net worth will likely increase during his slumber. Why? Because he is not selling his labor. He owns the mechanism. He owns the dam. Most of you are currently running on a treadmill that powers someone else's light. You believe that if you just run faster, if you just get another degree, or work more overtime, you will eventually own the treadmill. This is a strategic error. You cannot run your way into ownership. The skills required to do the work are diametrically opposed to the skills required to own the work. As long as you prioritize being useful over being positioned, you will remain a servant to the structure. Niccolò Machiavelli, in The Prince, discusses two forces that govern the success of a ruler: virtù and occasion. Virtù is your skill, your strength, your talent, and your hard work. Occasion is your circumstances, your timing, and most importantly, your position. The modern mind is obsessed with virtù. We worship the athlete, the genius coder, the talented artist. But Machiavelli knew that skill without position is useless. Let us look at the mathematics of your failure. The formula for power is simple. Outcome equals skill plus effort, multiplied by position. Here is the tragedy of the common man. You spend your entire life maximizing the numbers inside the brackets. You increase your skill. You double your effort. You work 80 hours a week. You become the best in your field. But your position remains zero. And in mathematics, any number, no matter how large multiplied by zero, is zero. Consider the surgeon's paradox. The surgeon is the pinnacle of the hard work mythology. He has studied for a decade. He possesses elite skills. He saves lives. He works under immense pressure. He is highly paid relative to the common laborer. But he is not free. He is trapped in a linear trap. If his hands shake, he is finished. If he wants to take a year off, his income vanishes. He is still trading time for money, just at a higher rate. He is still the water. Now look at the man who owns the hospital group. He likely cannot perform a surgery. He may not even know how to check a patient's blood pressure. His virtù, his technical skill is low, but his position is high. He sits upstream. He has structured the entity so that the surgeons, all the nurses and the patients all must flow through his corridors. He captures a percentage of every incision, every diagnosis, every pill. He has leverage. You have effort. The market will always value leverage over effort. This realization is usually where the weak turn away. It is painful to realize that your exhaustion has been in service of a flawed strategy. It is easier to click off this video, go back to scrolling, and pretend that if you just hustle a little harder, next year will be different. If you are content with being a battery for someone else's machine, you may leave. We are not here to save everyone. But if you have the stomach to dismantle your own ego, stay. We are about to discuss why you are psychologically addicted to the very system that enslaves you. Why do we stay downstream? Why do we cling to the labor market even when we know the math is broken? It is not just economics, it is psychology. There are 3 tripwires that the system has installed in your mind to keep you stationary. First, the sunk cost of identity. You have spent years building a persona around what you do. I am a lawyer. I am a designer. I am a grinder. To abandon the pursuit of labor is to abandon your identity. You are terrified of the silence that comes when you stop doing. You believe that if you are not sweating, you are not valuable. This is a slave morality, implanted to keep you efficient. Second, salary addiction. The bi-weekly paycheck is the most effective drug ever created. It is a predictable drip of dopamine that sedates your ambition. It creates a ceiling on your future, but it puts a floor under your fear. As long as the drip continues, you will not hunt. A lion that is fed by a zookeeper eventually forgets how to kill. You have been domesticated by the illusion of consistency. Third, and most dangerous, is the illusion of risk. You believe that starting your own structure or moving to a position of ownership is risky. You believe a job is safe. Let us analyze this with cold logic. If you have a job, you have a single client, your boss. You have a single point of failure. If that one person changes their mind, or if the market shifts, your entire livelihood is erased overnight. You are standing on a trapdoor held shut by a stranger. That is not safety. That is extreme vulnerability masked as comfort. True safety is not a paycheck. True safety is owning the checkbook. True safety is having multiple streams of value flowing into a structure that you control. So, how does one migrate? How do you move from the river to the dam? You cannot simply work your way up. You do not become a king by being the best peasant. You must change the nature of your game. You must alter your position. Step 1. The vacuum strategy. Stop competing in crowded spaces. The river is crowded. Everyone is fighting for the same scraps, offering the same skills. Machiavelli advises that we must strike where the enemy is weak. In economics, you must position yourself where there is a void. Find a painful, burning problem that has no solution and position yourself as the only relief. Do not try to be better. Being better is a trap. It forces you to compete on effort. Instead, be only. Be the only one who can solve a specific, expensive problem. Be the cork in the hole. When you are the only solution, you have leverage. When you have leverage, you dictate the price. Step 2. The gatekeeper protocol. If you cannot build the dam yet, if you lack the capital to own the factory or the hospital, you must own the access. Look for the flows of value. Where does the money move? It moves from customer to business. It moves from attention to product. Position yourself at the intersection. Become the broker. Become the agent. Become the platform. The gatekeeper does not produce the product, nor does he consume it. He simply stands at the gate and demands a toll for passage. This is the position of maximum efficiency. You are not carrying the water, you are directing the pipe. Step 3. The aggregation of equity. Stop trading time for money. Start trading money for time. Every dollar you earn from your labor must be immediately deployed to buy a soldier that works for you. Stocks, digital assets, equity in a business, intellectual property. You must build a machine that functions while you sleep. Until you do this, you are not a free man. You are a biological component of the economy, easily replaced when your parts wear out. Now, it is time for the audit. I want you to look at your life with the cold detachment of a surgeon. Strip away your emotions. Strip away your pride in how hard you work. Ask yourself, are you building a dam or are you merely carrying water? If you were to disappear tomorrow, if you were to vanish from the face of the earth, would the system you are part of collapse? Or would they simply slot another battery into your position and continue? If you are replaceable, so you are vulnerable. You must stop viewing yourself as a worker. You must view yourself as an asset allocator. Your energy, your time, and your mind are finite resources. Every hour you spend grinding on low-leverage tasks is a strategic failure. You must become the predator of your own destiny. You must hunt for the high ground. You must obsess over position, not output. But a warning. When you begin to move upstream, when you stop running on the treadmill and start building the machine, you will become a target. The crab bucket mentality is real. Your peers, your friends, and even your family are comfortable with you as a laborer. It validates their own suffering. When you rise, you reflect their stagnation back at them. They will try to pull you back down. They will use guilt. They will use envy. Wealth and power change the battlefield, but they do not end the war. Once you have the castle, you must defend it against the wolves who come disguised as friends. You have learned how to position yourself for power. Now you must learn how to protect yourself from the social manipulation that follows. In the next briefing, we will discuss the dark Machiavellian secret to respect. We will explore why your need to be liked is the greatest chink in your armor, and how to close it. For those who wish to go deeper than the public briefings allow. For those who want the raw, uncensored applications of these laws, the subscribe button is below. Inside the architect tier, we discuss what the algorithm prohibits. Until then, maintain your position and watch the shadows.